Today's My Thoughts Monday is brought to you by GymAware, the leading tool when measuring performance in the weight room. Guys, VBT is all the craze right now. It's a hot, sexy topic, although it's something that's been around for a while. And the man who wrote the book on velocity-based training, Brian Mann, has called the GymAware the Rolls Royce when it comes to velocity measuring devices. Guys, the ability for you to shoot all your information right up into the cloud and store it right away is enough for me right there to make sure that this is something that I had in my weight room. Putting things together with instant feedback as to how the reps are being performed. On top of that, with the x-axis correction, so you don't have to necessarily worry about direct positioning when you're performing the exercises. Tying that in with the visualization of everything and the ability to allow the athletes to compete. Make this an absolutely stellar tool and something I couldn't recommend you having in your weight room enough. Hop on over to kinetic.com.au today and see everything that they have to offer. Hey everybody, if you enjoy the podcast and the content it provides, be sure to hop over and check out the community. The community is an exclusive members website that is just an extension of what we do here in July at the Central Virginia Sport Performance Seminar. What it is a combination of video lectures, a coach's corner with your Monday morning take-home information, and a forum where you can talk about anything and everything related to the field of strength and conditioning. In the community, you'll find content added each month from some of the top practitioners in the world, ranging from PhDs to high-level coaches, bringing you exactly what they're doing with their athletes or their research at the present moment. On top of that, an additional discussion by coaches bringing you that Monday morning information, things that you can add to your training program right away. Tying that in with the opportunity to discuss with coaches around the world in the forum on anything and everything from the topics addressed in these presentations to whatever you're seeing in your daily life as a coach. If this sounds like the right thing for you and your staff, go ahead and hop over to cvasps.com/community and try it out for 48 hours for just $1. If you like it, you're signed up, ready to roll, and you're jumping into all the great content added each month. If not, feel free to go ahead and cancel at any time. No questions asked. We're really excited about what we're building in the community and hope you are too. Go ahead and hop over to cvasps.com/community and check it out today. Hey, what's happening, everybody? DeMayo coming at you with this week's edition of My Thoughts Monday. And today, guys, I want to talk a little bit about a common discussion and a common question that people like to ask on the internet again. So kind of go into the FAQs of what you see on Twitter and those Instagram Ask Me Any Question things. That's like, people want to get into talking about what higher profile coaches or what coaches in general use for their loading schemes and periodization plans and all of those things that are really cool and really kind of sexy and neat to talk about. But really, at the end of the day, there's only one way to elicit an adaptation. You got to do more. That's it. We sit here and we want to talk about all of these fancy undulating models and getting into really advanced training, what you see in special strength training, or even what Dr. Mann talks about, velocity-based training, and we're talking about triphasic stuff for your 13-year-old field hockey club, or your 16-year-old swimmers, or your junior high football team. Guys, you've got to do more to get better, to elicit an adaptation. But they're going to have to do more later, too. Even Dr. Mann, even Cal, they talk about GPP. They talk about building a general base. Why are we talking about using all of this crazy advanced stuff with non-advanced kids? I mean, if you look at the qualification system used by the Russians when they would identify the level of the athlete, even a college athlete is a middle-level athlete, at best. And we're talking about implementing some of the most advanced training methods that you can with a freshman soccer player? What are you going to do with that kid in 4 years? If that kid in his first 3 years or in her first 3 years has run through 3 rounds of triphasic training and has gone through velocity-based training in season and has hit some of the most high-impact, highly intense plyometrics, what in the world are you going to do with that child when they are 22 years old? What's left? Why are we looking to find all of these dramatic stimuli that are so intense and so crazy, but super cool in order to develop these kids? Are we training them for Instagram, or are we training them to make them better athletes? Like, I just don't get it. You know, and I understand, like, straight up, 100% understand, staffing is a problem. As a matter of fact, there's a Coach Me Plus chat going on right now where they asked that question. What is the biggest problem you have? And I said staffing, period. I would rather have no technology, nothing but barbells, plates, and not even racks, just shit laying all over the floor, and have more people on our staff. Because more people on a staff can do more things. They can serve the people better. They can work with people better. They can be more individualized. They can show up and do more things. So I understand that what I'm about to say is kind of a hypocrisy to me saying that, but we have to be able to level and individualize and split up and figure out what is best for each kid. I get it, right? I get it that there are some people out there who are coaching 500 athletes at one school, and that is exceptionally difficult. But you can still have levels. Like, you can still have level 1, level 2, level 3. Like, they can still have boxes that they need to check, right? You can still have ways for them to progress. Like, even if you have a huge group, you don't just say, day 1, we are going to circumax box squat with super heavy bands and weight releasers and chains. You wouldn't do that. You would teach them how to lift first, right? I hope. So why are we not thinking a little bit more in a sense of having, even if it's cookie cutter for the levels, you still have it progressive and you're still able to do more as we go. Now, I also understand that there are some sport coaches that are going to want everyone to do everything the same all the time. But I also feel too that if you discuss the safety reasons behind it and the progressive reasons behind it as to how they're going to be able to continually develop as opposed to really have one big spike and then kind of get a little better every year, but not as much as they would have, I think most coaches are going to be like, cool, let's do that. So I guess that my main thing is we need to keep it simple, stupid. We need to slow down a little bit more. You know, because when you're sitting there talking about your undulating triphasic velocity-based model, you're probably still just doing 3 sets of 10 anyway. So, like, what's the big deal? And I can hear people right now, oh, well, listen to this guy talk. He's the 1x20 guy. He's the Omega Wave guy. He's the guy who's going to sit here and say, oh, well, you know, you got to have the minimal effective dose, and he only does 1 set anyway. You're right. For my young kids, I do. For my sophomores, I do. For my middle, you know, my juniors that are in the process of developing into the more intensive stuff, we get into multi-sets. Because we've done 2 or 3 years and we need to do more. So I guess that what I'm saying is the best model for me may not be the best model for you, but you need to find what that best model is by making it progressive, even if it's just 2 steps. If it's 3 steps, great. If it's 4 steps, awesome. And I know there's going to be wrenches thrown in, and I know there's going to be schedules that change, and I know that there are going to be things that you know, that cause you to have to alter it. But for the sake of the students and the athletes that you work with, I feel like we need to take a step back and break down what we're doing now so that we can actually progress as we move forward, so that we can continually advance and we can continually adapt and we can continually stress them because we're able to continually do more in a safe, progressive, and meaningful manner. So, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to build multi-step programs. If you guys have followed any of our Instagram, there's been a couple of different videos that have been put up by my awesome SID where you've seen, in the same day, different workouts. Some days one group's lifting and another group's running. Some days one group's running the hills and the other's on the turf. Some days they're both lifting. Some days, they're all doing different stuff because we have our levels. And do they individualize more as they move forward throughout the year? Yup, they sure do. But in the general phase, are they all pretty similar? Yup, because it's all general. Am I sitting here able to do that because I only have 16 guys that I have to do that with? Yup, but I do it with my swim team too. And I do it with our swim club as well. We have 2 levels. We have one where we teach them how to hold positions and we slowly progress them through light lifting, mobility, technique work for an entire year. Because that's what's best for the kids, in my opinion. So, just remember, when people want to talk about adaptations and stress response and building this, that, or the other quality, at the end of the day, the only way that you're going to elicit an adaptation is to do more. You're going to have to do one more rep. You're going to have to try a little harder. You're going to have to run a little faster or a little longer, or one more set or whatever it may be. Because eventually what you did isn't enough. So if it's another pound or another second or a little faster or another rep, you've done more and you've elicited that adaptation a little bit better. So that's my thoughts for this Monday, guys. Hope you're doing awesome. Hope you found some value in this. And if you did, please share it. We're just trying to get all the best info out there that we can. As always, guys, thank you for everything you do for us here at Central Virginia Sport Performance. We'll be back next week with another My Thoughts Monday. I'll see you then.